Fall 2018 was so bad that Goblin Slayer ended up being pretty high on my list. So many shows were just mediocre, so let's start off with some of the worst that this season has to offer. Why would you make a show about cute girls living together and make it in CG? CG isn't cute. What's the point? Oh, and it's got that radio show garbage at the end. Great. It's a school comedy where the joke is all the main characters are from Japanese history, but in current day high school. I couldn't even get through this one, so you should probably avoid it. Have you ever wished you could combine Deadliest Catch, BattleBots, and a phone game? Well, you're gonna love this one then. All the fish left the planet and went to space, so humans made fishing submarines to go into space water and catch fish. The fish are big though, so you have to fight them first. And to activate your submarine, you need to use a phone app and select a god spirit to help you. Women couldn't go fish until a recent law passed, and now these girls have to prove themselves to the men. It's pretty funny that a show's main conflict can be women proving that they're as good as men in a future setting. In the second episode, we find out that the god main girl chose has the ability to come out of her phone and talk to her. No one else can see it though. Don't watch this unless you're interested in seeing the worst setting of all time. This show is great. Sick magic with amazing Scooby-Doo sound effects. CG war robots and an edgy main who hasn't slept in 3 years. Not interested. I cannot recommend this one to anyone. Main boy is a terrorist whose bombs are always lit. He steals a stopwatch that controls time and then immediately loses it. Its fight choreography is pretty bad, but it makes sense because the character is an actual retard. They get in more trouble and find this magic glowy boy who sends them to another world. It's actually just a separate reality, and sadly this isn't the worst show of the season. Main dude's dad made a bunch of robots that start to take over the world because of a bug. Main boy accidentally falls into a stasis chamber after trying to be killed, and everyone thinks he's dead. There's a bunch of episodes of this out already, so everyone else knows more about this than me. The intro has some funky beats, but that's about all the good things I have to say. It's just a shonen battle focused around sumo. It's okay, so if you're into shonen shows, then you'll probably get a kick out of this. This is a Monster Rancher / Digimon ripoff about a boy who can turn evil monsters good. Watch it if you're a baby, or if you just like baby stuff. Main boy's a sorcerer who wants to save the world from evil. It's more standard shonen. The first episode ends before anything significant happens, so it was pretty boring. Even Black Clover's first episode was more interesting than this. Adolescent sickness is going around and causing people to become injured or invisible. Main boy is the only one who can see main girl and has to help her live. Wow, thanks for explaining Schrodinger's cat to me. I am 5 years old, so I think that's deep. Not only is main boy a huge white knight, he also says the cringiest line I think I've ever seen in anime. The animation has a lot going on at times, but that's the only good thing about it. I really don't like these kinds of talky light novel shows in the first place, so I'm pretty biased. If you enjoy Steins Gate, Sakurada Reset, or the Monogatari's, then go ahead and see if you'll enjoy this one. This siscon writer writes siscon novels, and his sister is in the top of her class in all subjects who loves her Oni-chan. But now that he's in a harem show, he has a large buffet from legal lollies to busty milfs at his service. I'm ready for this to be memed like all the other sis shows. Well, at least their Blu-ray sales are gonna be really good. It's an isekai where a guy gets reincarnated as a slime girl. I gotta say there's lots of stuff going on in the background before he dies. Even if it's CG, that's better than most shows. While Main Boy was dying, they made a joke that got a chuckle out of me, so it was better than I expected. The pre-isekai scene lasted 6 minutes because of all the skills he obtained. It easily could have been 2 minutes if they just showed the skills unlocking while stuff was happening like this. Instead, they just paused the show for 30 seconds at a time to show us that he got heat resistance. I think an animator just wanted to show off his sick Cinema 4D skills. This part made me worried for Kumo Desuga. If this is how they handle every time she gets a skill, then it's gonna be unwatchable. Once he becomes a slime, he just screws around for a while and talks to a dragon. Nothing really interesting, but better than the last few isekais to come out. The intro has some well-animated parts, but I'm not excited for Slime Boy to turn into a cute girl. If you like isekais, then check it out, cause it's probably going to be the best one of the year. 12 waifus, 12 episodes, 12 exciting nights of hot, steamy procreation. But of course we won't see anything, it's anime. What were you thinking? These girls are all tiny-eyed aliens anyways. I don't really want to see them try and look sexy. I'm not sure why they didn't just skip the first game and use the girls from the second game. It had the same character designer as ReZero, and people love those girls. This girl's granny sends her back in time against her will for some unknown reason. To fix her color blindness, I guess. She can't see color except for in this guy's art. She'll probably end up being her granny in the end, or something equally stupid. If you like YouTuber sees color for the first time, then you'll love this one. The story starts out with main girl not knowing how to deal with her feelings of not being in love with someone who's confessed to her. She happens to find another girl that deals with the same issue all the time, and they connect through that. Then, rather than becoming friends and developing their feelings over time, the other girl confesses the main girl right afterwards. It's like the author had a good idea before his editor told him that it wouldn't sell unless he ruined it. If you don't actually care about good romance and just want to see some girls get it on, then this is for you. I do appreciate their use of parallaxing when the main girl is walking though. It's much better than just zooming into an image. It's a short comedy about working in a bookstore. I didn't really find it funny other than the English.
Excuse me? I'm just looking for this manga.
Although I didn't find the majority of the show funny, the comedy wasn't so bad it was off-putting. So maybe you'll actually like it. I will say the land whale BL lover brought up some horrible high school memories though. The two rival groups in this school are led by these two who fall in love with each other. I guess it's Romeo and Juliet plus harem comedy? Oh Jesus, their names are actually Romeo and Juliet. Well, it clearly isn't trying to do anything new, but if you like harem comedies, then go ahead and watch it. It's a comedy slice of life, but it was more of a cute show than anything. I guess they consider it a comedy because the ruler of the demons is a cute girl who likes fua time. You'll probably like this if you're just looking for a cute, lighthearted show, even if the comedy is bland. A girl meets a vampire and hangs out in her house. It's a cute girl show slice of life with an OP titled Cutie Ladies. That's all you really need to know to decide if you want to watch it. This is a battle shonen with people who control killer puppets. Main guy is just buff though, and starts choking if someone doesn't laugh at him for a while. The first scene sets it up to be a spooky show, but it wasn't really. I did love all the child punching though, that was pretty funny. It's an adaptation of a manga from '97 and it feels like it. Watch it if you like sexy clown girls. It's Ultraman, but the everyday life parts are Trigger. Main boy has amnesia and becomes a superhero to fight kaiju made by his classmate. If the CG were better, then I might like this. The normal day parts are interesting enough, but the fights were lame. I can't really recommend this to anyone because of that. This was made as an experiment to try and make the most embarrassing show possible for someone to walk in on you watching. Main girl decides to start a cheer club after seeing some girls cheer for a river. She tries to recruit a girl with experience, but she doesn't want to join. It's a generic cute girls show that repeats the same unfunny joke 6 times in the first episode. If you're thinking, hey, at least I can see some pantsu, well, then I have some bad news for you. I hate Goblin Slayer. I've read the light novel and the manga, so I already know all about the story. Instead of having any substance, the whole thing is just Goblin Slayer being autistically edgy about killing gobbos and saying epic lines. The anime, however, added some little things that make me hopeful it'll be better than the source material. One of the biggest problems with the story is that there's no subtlety to it. Everyone's named after their job, and everything is so straightforward that it feels like a child wrote it. The anime, however, actually foreshadowed that the fighter would have some trouble using his sword in the cave. They also fixed the pacing by just having the adventurers die rather than showing us their whole backstories as they died. Although these are really minor things, the fact that they changed them gives me hope that the story will be just a little less crap than I was expecting. The visuals, however, are much worse than the manga. Goblin Slayer is CG most of the time, and the outro is the laziest I've seen. This one is stupid fun. These girls have been trying to perform a ritual to travel dimensions for some time, and it ends up working. They end up in danger and are saved by the main girl, but from an alternate dimension. This show would be great if it stuck with its mystery elements, but I know that it's just going to end up as a battle show. I'll probably stick with this one depending on how frequently they have to fight. I do like that they get their powers from cassettes. It gives me a sort of nostalgic feeling for Digimon and scanners. These spy girls eat a spice to boost their physical abilities and do spy stuff like fighting robots and criminals. I like what they use as their drone. Hey, look, it's best mom of the season. If you like cute girls doing cool things, then you'll probably get a lick out of this one. This dude resurrects a bunch of dead girls to form an idol group in order to revitalize the town. The cover made me think of Classroom the Elite, but it turned out to be really funny. It looks like each episode they're going to be performing a different genre of music, which is greatly appreciated. If it was just metal and headbanging or basic idol music for the whole show, I wouldn't really want to watch it. They went a little too far with the funny voice that their producer is doing, but I like how much of a dick he is, so it evens out. Check it out. This buff woman gets a job to work as a maid so that she can play dress up with this lolly. If that sentence got you salivating, then you'll love this show. If not, it's still pretty funny and has some of the best animation of the season, so take a chance on this one. Main guy's a cop and gets pulled into a special division which deals with drugs that turns criminals into superhumans. This show is just fun. It actually feels like the people making it were having fun, and it's great. I hope we get different types of bullet synthesis as we go on, because if we just see the same one throughout the whole show, it's going to get really stale. You should check out the first episode. It looks like we know what the Haikyuu team's been working on. The track club leader tricked a bunch of guys into joining the club so they can run. The animation's really good and the outro's bumpin'. This one looks really good, so if you like sports shows, then check this one out for sure. Here's my ranking of shows. In the end, I'm just amazed that Goblin Slayer is one of the better shows, but really the top 4 are the only ones I'm going to be watching this season. See you next video in 2 months. I hope we get different types of bullet synthesis. I hope we get different types of bullet synth. I hope we get different types of bullet synth. I hope we get different types of door time. I hope we get different types of bullet synthesis. I hope we get different types of bullet synthesis. I hope we get